Hi, this is On Imagination, and welcome to the Ethical Asshole. I am your host, the Salty Bitch. All right, so we are talking about art. And I just saw this guy sitting here in a museum, and he's complaining about the uselessness of art. And he's analyzing art. And he's looking at this Posco, I think Posco or Posca. I can't remember the name of the painter, and it's a red square. It's red, and then there's another shade of red, and then a red. So that's it. That's the whole thing. And he's like, "Is this really art? Is this really worth $500 million?" And he talks about Pollock, and he's like, "All he did was dribble paint on canvas for a month. Is this really art? Is it really worth $500 million for doing dribbly paint on canvas?" The purpose of art is to get you to ask the questions. So, done. Mission accomplished. You're supposed to get pissed off. You're supposed to think. That's all art is supposed to do. It's supposed to make you think. That's all it's supposed to do. It's not supposed to be pretty. It's supposed to make you think. So if you're looking at something like this behind you, and it makes you think, it's done its job. And if it doesn't make you think, well, it has failed. That's all it is. It's all it ever is. If you look at a Da Vinci and you think, good, it's done. It doesn't matter what it is. If you get a blank canvas, this is a real painting, a blank canvas, and you think about it, it's done its job. That's all it's supposed to do. It is the science of perspective. That's all it's supposed to do. It's not about to be good or bad. It's not about capturing the realism, unless that's what you're supposed to be thinking about. In addition to that, if you're thinking about the shit that is coming out of Pollock's dribbles, you're thinking. See? It's just about what it's going to take to get you to think. When you're looking at something and then you've got people who are full of fucking shit. You know the ones I'm talking about. They're the posh people who are in there going, "Oh, it's so deep and meaningful." No, it's not. Really, it's not. You might be deep and meaningful, but if you find deep and meaning in shit, literally, there was a dude who literally painted with shit, and people felt this was deep and meaningful. It did its job. Do you have to be posh about it? No, there's no prestige in thinking. They're not thinking at all. They're trying to be popular, which means the art has failed or they're idiots. And that in itself is something to contemplate, which is what Banksy is all about. Is he mocks the posh fraud that is art, but he makes you think about it. And that is the point. And so many people are pissed off. And they're doing all these videos going, "This isn't art. What is art about?" It's doing its job. You're thinking, you're talking. And if that's what you want to talk about, good job. It did its work. Gorniger made people think. Van Gogh made people think. Like, that's all it's supposed to be doing. You can think good things. You can think bad things. Whatever the artist is trying to get you to think, that is what the artist is trying to do. Now, some artists just want to make you feel good. Picasso is not trying to make anyone feel good. Picasso did a whole lot of things to piss me the fuck off. He was not trying to make anyone feel good. I hate Picasso. All right. I'm trying to think. Georgia O'Keeffe. She made people think. Now, she made people think about the wrong thing that she did not want people thinking about. Joke's on her. But that's Banksy's point. That is exactly the point. Maybe that was bad art. Maybe Georgia O'Keeffe was, in fact, bad art. Because joke's on the artist on that one. She's like, "I just like flowers." And everyone else is going, "I see vaginas." And she's like, "No, they're just flowers." Aha. See? People are thinking. And that is the point of art. I'm thinking about that guy, Charles something, who does all those cat pictures. Like a Thomas Kincaid, but that guy, Charles, he's got cats lying all over books, and it makes me feel good. And there's cats all over and knitted things and yarns. I love his work. And those make me feel good. Thomas Kincaid makes me feel icky. He really makes me feel icky because it feels like it's too sweet and nice and great. It's like I'm looking at a fake, phony Pleasantville. That he got me thinking. See? And it's like the whole, so evoking emotion to get you to think, to see a different perspective is the entire purpose of art. Like that is its entire mission. And if it makes you angry, it's done its job. Now, the whole, is it really worth $500 million? Well, you don't have to buy it. Isn't that amazing? You don't have to buy it. Someone else might go, I really love that because they relate to it, or they just might be posh. And that's the whole point, is be genuine with your art. And that's really the concept of a lot of contemporary and modern art, is are people being authentic with their art? But that's a conversation no one's actually having anymore. They're trying to, but they don't have the right vocabulary, so they're missing the point. What they're complaining about is the authenticity of it. Whether or not something is valuable is going to determine on how many people want something. And now you've got people who are literally bidding off of how much they would pay for work. It's not up to the non-bidder to determine the value. One man's junk is another man's treasure. So this really, really applies to art, where it can go one or two ways. It's junk for one person is art for another. And that's the point. And that's something else that's really overlooked. And if you're going to step into the art world, get your shit together. I mean, that's really what this comes down to, is you have to understand that you don't have to spend $500 million for a Pollock. You don't. No one's holding a gun to your head. You can go, well, that's shit, and walk away. Guess what? That artwork was not for you. But the people who really do love Pollock, that's for them, or they're just posh. Now, if they're inauthentic, there also might be art investors. See, art investors are the people who really don't give a shit about art, but they understand the investment value, because there are the people who really, really, really do love the Pollock, and they're going, oh, I really want the Pollock, but that investor has it, and he's currently on purpose appreciating the value of a painting I want to own. Well, that's smart business. So you've got business people who really don't give a shit about art, but they have a good, solid business sense. So they're hoarding the painting while it increases in value, while the art collector is actually wanting the artwork. So you got that playing along, which is part of the game. Welcome to the art world. And you still got those inauthentic, posh people doing the art thing because it's the in thing to do. Now, if you want to talk, and really, Bansky really hits a home with these people a lot, is there are way too many people who are trending in art because it's popular. Those are the people who really need why aren't you being authentic? And that's like adding a whole nother level to the art world, that's now having other artists go, oh, is that genuine? Is that in itself art? Are we thinking about it? Like, I can see someone doing an artwork where you see this crappy piece of artwork that doesn't do any kind of anything for anybody, but these posh snobs are looking at the garbage art while they're oohing and awing over their inauthenticity of the garbage. It could literally be garbage. While you've got somebody else contemplating the inauthenticity of the posh people contemplating garbage. That would be art. Now, another interesting thing I just saw a couple days ago was this guy created an invisible sculpture. He literally had an invisible sculpture, and it was just this nothing sitting on a blank thing. It's invisible. And somebody loved it, so they bought it. And he had a certificate of authenticity. And that is actually what he bought, was a certificate of authenticity. And he had it moved to his house. This is a thing that they did. And so this guy now has this pedestal with this invisible sculpture sitting on this pedestal with a certificate that proves he's got an invisible sculpture. Art. The purpose is to get you to think. But if you're not thinking because you're there because it's trendy, you're not thinking at all. The question now is, did the art fail or didn't it? Now, this is interesting. Did the art fail, or are they that like ignorant about the whole purpose of art because it's supposed to get you to think. I would say the art failed. Or, yeah, the art would fail. So it's not supposed to please your fucking ego. Whoever walked around saying the art is there for my ego? No, it's not. Really, trust me, art does not exist for anyone's ego. Believe me, look at Picasso's work. It is not there for your ego. It is there for you to think. And this concept of art is for my ego is bullshit. It's not there to make you feel good. It's not there to make things pretty for you. It is there to make you think. And if you're angry, it did its job. If you're emotional, it did its job. If you're contemplating it or giving it any kind of time, it's done its job. It's done exactly what it was supposed to do. It's not there to serve your ego. It's there to make you think. That's all I have to say about that. So thank you. May the kindest of words always find you.